Hi guys, welcome back to Nardi Elder Gaming and another episode of Jurassic World Evolution 3. So we look back at what we did last time. So we've made the main entrance. We've stuck a couple of skeletons in there just to make it look a little bit interesting for anybody who walks in. Let's have a look. We've got our food, gifts, drinks, all that sort of stuff around there. And then we've got... I just run up here. We got some stairs we can't go up. I used the space then to try and jump, but I didn't realise it was a pause. But there you go. Right, so now we jump back out again. So there's our visitor centre. And if you remember, the first thing we built outside this was this huge area here for herbivores. So we got some nice big sauropods in there. We got Dreadnoughtus, we got Brachiosaurs, and we got various hadrosaurs in there. We've even got some ceratopsians down there. Ornithomimosaurs we got. Let's see if I can find Ornithomimosaurs. That's not even the correct terminology. I meant ornithomimids. There we go. So there's one of them. So I think this area actually looks pretty good. It's got a nice little swampy looking area there. Some waterfalls. We got a foresty area at this end. Foresty area at this end for them. And we got 3 viewing platforms. So it's all good. Then once we get past this, we've got this little area we built here for the Coelophysis and the Compsognathus. So they look happy enough in their little environment. And hopefully we won't get no escapes from there. And then we get to our water enclosure there. So we've got plenty going on in there. We've got Dunkleosteus. We've got Ichthyosaurs. We've got Mosasaurs. We've got the Megalodons. And we got... Look at that. Right, is one of them going to jump out on this? They never do it. Whenever I zoom in to watch it, it never happens. Is that one hungry? No, of course not. Fine. Right. Okay, so they're not going to play ball. So, move on to the next one, which is this. This is our Spinosaurus enclosure. So we've got the male there. And we got a female as well. Where's the female? There's the female. Having a bit of sleep. There we go. Right. So what are we doing next? I'll tell you. Next, we're going to be working on what will be probably one of the main attractions of the whole park. It's going to be the Tyrannosaur paddock. So that is going to be this area. It's going to take up. So what I want to do is I want to work out my area for that. So I'm going to set where are we? Let's set an arid area for this one. So we're going to come down. We can't get all the way up there. That's a shame. How much of this can I take? So I might be able to bring some mountains down this way, to be honest. That is quite big, I suppose. But it's not going to be quite right. So I might have to bring that across up to about here. So what do we reckon? That looks alright. I could probably put some boulders down to hide that area. So I don't think we're going to be able to do anything there because nobody's going to be able to see in there. So I think we might sort of make some cliffs there. We might even be able to waterfall into there, couldn't we? So if we raise the area up here and we flatten that terrain to bring it up to the height of this, we can go around here doing that, and that can come down that way. Whoops. There we go. So we should be able to waterfall that. So let's give our area up here some water across the top. Coming down like so. And then we'll do some water at the bottom. Coming around here. And it's not giving us any waterfalls there. Why does that not work the way I want it to? Oh, we got one waterfall. Two waterfalls. I can never get a big waterfall. There we go, that's better. So that will be the waterfall side. So we could smoothen the terrain. That is a word, I'm sure of it. That's too intense. I need it just to be very gradual. There we go. I didn't want to lose that bit of waterfall there, but not to worry. Right, so we're going to tree this area off anyway as well. So if we get some... That looks alright, doesn't it, with the rocks. We do the same on this side. Yeah, I quite like that. So we could have like a viewing gallery at this area. Let's rock that all out there. And what I might do is make some small trees down here, but we use the scenery for that. So if we build some trees around there to make that look a little bit more... What's the word I'm looking for? Let's get a bigger tree there. Oh, I thought that was big, but maybe not. Make it look a little bit more natural. That's the word I was looking for. So there, that looks a little bit more natural even as it is right now. So we could do some foliage along the bottom down here. You know, just little bits and pieces just to give it that little look. So, right, that's the water area. It was quite quick, actually. It didn't take long to do that at all, did it? So let's see if we can do some more foliage. Some big bushes around here, I think. Like so, and let's have some bigger ones in amongst that lot. There we go, that's looking quite good. So already it's only taken us a couple of minutes to get to this point. I would actually like to change this a little bit, give it a little bit of a better look. So let's go into colouring it and let's see if we can sort of bring some sort of cliff colours into it. So just even just a little bit of colour into it. Sort of changes the look of it, doesn't it? Now what we could have is a couple of rocks sticking out of here as well. Here we go, is our rocks. So let's have some rocks sort of sticking out a little bit. There we go. So that's giving that a little bit more of a natural look to it. I think what I will do is just try and dirty this area up a little bit. Just to take away the root-riddled dirt. That would be good, wouldn't it? Yeah, that's not too bad. I quite like that. So that's their drinking area taken care of. But we got a whole lot of area to cover. Let me just try and compare that to the size of the Spinosaur environment, which is probably too big, to be fair. So I reckon we could probably cut down about here. Let's make the radius a bit bigger. Cut it down about there. The thing is, I want there to be lots of trees and that around the Tyrannosaur paddock. And also what I want to do is I'm going to experiment with actually making like a moated area. So I'm going to need to lower the terrain. Let's turn the intensity up a little bit. So we're going to have a nice big ditch around the whole area. But it's not going to be left just like that, because I want to actually bring this side back in a little bit. So let's go to flatten environment there. See if we can bring that in a little bit. See, that's not too bad. I wonder if I can bring this side in a little bit to actually give it a bit of a steeper feel. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the first person view down, and let's just have a look what this looks like. So if you go up to the edge of this, to where the fence will be, that's too big. That's far too big. So I'm going to need to try and draw that in a little bit more. So let's get to the flattened terrain. That's going to be better, I think. Doesn't have to be too deep, it just has to give the impression that it's some kind of barrier to stop the Rexes from escaping. Or part of the defences to stop them escaping. So we'll have the fence going along here. So let's change the ground colour to yeah, we could have it in that colour, can't we? So let's turn the radius down on that. And we'll just change that so that it sort of makes it look as though it's been done on purpose to match the actual environment itself. Because that's where our path will be going. And the viewing galleries might be a bit of a strange thing to try. So I'm going to have to... I think I'll put an invisible barrier along the back here. Because I'm going to cover these with trees and that anyway, to give it the impression that it goes back a lot further. But I just don't want the Rexes escaping from there. And then we'd have the normal fences coming round here. So I'll do that along there. And then if I bring those across there, then that will stop the Rexes from coming too close to the edge, to make it look as though the ditch is actually doing what it's intended to do, which is stop the escape of the animals. There we go. So we can probably cover that in a bit of foliage or something. Maybe not. We might just leave it open because there is going to be the main fencing going along here as the defence for the creatures. Right, for the creatures, the dinosaurs. You know what I mean. Right. So let's adjust the environment itself. I don't want it to be all one layered. I want to sort of bring the back up a little bit to give it a sort of hilly area, and then we'll have trees and that all along the back there. Sort of like that, and then I'm going to flatten this terrain out, smooth it down. Like so. Because we're making so the Rexes need to be one of these things that, you know, you go there and you don't know if you're going to see them or not, because they're so hidden. They don't like to be seen. That sort of thing. Going to cover the back in conifers. Like so. We'll have little Little clusters of them around and about. Try and give them a natural look. I think I'll put some... I didn't really want it to do that. I wanted conifers, but that don't look too bad. So now, I think what we'll do is I'm going to have another small bit of water over here. But it's not going to be deep water. There we go. So a little bit like that. And now we need to make it look good, we need to... Let's chuck some rocks in. Rexes need rocks, don't they? That one might make a sort of platform type affair that they can stand on and roar. There, I quite like that. So the actual terrain for them looks pretty good. So I'm just going to uneven it a little bit. Only need to do bits and pieces, nothing too much. So if I roughen the terrain, but we don't overdo it, because that's the problem with a lot of my terrains at the moment. They've been very uniform. And we just don't want it. We need it to look a little bit different, you know? And this is just enough to give it ups and downs. So it doesn't look as though it's been created. It looks as though it's all natural formation. Right, so let's drop the little bloke down and let's see what we think of it. Looks okay, but it's not very good for viewing, is it? So I think we need to raise this terrain up a little bit so that you're actually looking down on it. So let's go for raise the terrain, but we don't want to overdo it. So let's just bring that up a little bit there. And then if we flatten the terrain and bring it up along there. So we can have the viewing edges a little bit higher. Because we're going to put the electric fences just down below a little bit. don't want this to overdo it, so that's why I'm just doing it gently. Right, so there we go. We've got a risen platform there that visitors can travel along to have a look at the Rexes. What I would have liked to have, is to have put water in the bottom of there, but if I do that now, that's going to completely destroy what I've built. So this is the rampart. That is going to house the path and the viewing galleries. Like so. So now I need to put in the electric fences, and of course being a Rex it's going to need the big ones. So we're not going to put a heavy fence, we need to put electric fence, otherwise the visitors are not going to see anything. I like the way this is naturally taking it along the contours of the ground as well. Now what I will need to do is to change this a little bit up here, because I'm going to need a path for the gate in, for the... Hang on, let me just toggle the curve on that a minute. There we go. Alright, so I can't join that one up there, as terrain's too steep. So I might have to just raise that a little bit. So I don't think that'll hurt at that point. Still too steep. There, so I think that's done it. Yeah, there we go. I didn't realise that had dropped so far down there. We might have to reimagine that a minute. Right, so let's try that again. But this time, we need to bring it up to the edge of this. There, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? Hell of a lot better. So hopefully, I mean, the Rexes might be able to walk down that bit, but they won't be able to get up this bit. So it just looks like that extra little bit of security to stop a very dangerous predator from getting out. Right, so let's have a look at the terrain they like. So if we go into the... where's our... There it is. If we go in there, we'll have a look at the Rexes. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm definitely having Carnotaurus in here somewhere. Where are you? Let's get the meat eaters. There he is. Right. Let's have a look at the... So the female... So we've got the 1993, 1997B. There's Big E.E. T-Rex 2022. 65 million. A Little E.E. So I think I'm going to do the female as 65 MA. I don't know whether that's supposed to mean million or not, but... Right, and let's have a look at the skin colours for this one. Let's go for that one, I think. T-Rex 2001 for the male. So let's get them breeding. Alright. I'm synthesizing, I mean not breeding. I don't want them breeding yet, but I will be setting nests up in these areas as well. Right, select the eggs. So we will have a male and a female. So let's begin the incubation of those. Get them ready. And let's go back to their enclosure, which is up this way. Right, so I still didn't see what I wanted to see, to be quite honest. I wanted to have a look at their right, let's have a look. Albertosaurus. Where's T-Rex gone? There he is. Right, I wanted the info. Right, so let's have a look. So they like arid. They like a lot of pasture. So let's put pasture in there for them. So they like a lot of pasture. So I think most of what we're going to build out here . Right, so let's put let's have a look at brushland pasture. So I want something to look a little bit interesting. I don't want it all to be just boring pasture. Got rid of my trees. Pasture with grass, taiga. Just give it that little bit of a spattering of plant life. And hopefully that will be okay for them. So there's our T-Rex paddock. what I want to do now first is see if I can create the attractions, the viewing galleries. We could probably do with the tall ones, to be honest. Right, so what I might have to do is just raise a bit of this terrain just to sit those on. So there we go. So we could do one there, and then I'll put another one up here as well. I might put one of those log viewing galleries in there as well. So let's have a look at those now. So that's fine. So that's one there. And we'll have one there. That's a bit annoying that they've done that there, but we might be able to sort something out with that. Let's go in and try and lower the terrain. Yeah, there we go. That's lowering it nicely. Just going to do the same at this end. Give it a nice steep drop off. Just got to make sure that they cannot climb up there. They won't anyway because they can't get past this invisible barrier. But it just gives it the impression. Right, so before I release them, we're going to have to feed them. So let's put the old goat feeders in. I'll have one there, so it can be seen from that. And we'll also have one over there, so it can be seen from that. There we go, little goat in there ready. So let's there's our view, so we should be able to see the Rexes from here. And from this one, oh, I see. I didn't realise you could jump from camera to camera in these now. Done it. I didn't know if you could even do that in the first place with the last game. Possible, I suppose. But yeah, so let's so at the moment we haven't even pathed this one up yet. So I think what we better do is get a path going. I think that was the one we used. It's too big. I don't want large. No, I think that's still too big, isn't it? So was it just small then? Yeah, I think it was, wasn't it? Right, okay. make that look as though it's going to match, sort of. Find it very difficult to match these up exactly how you want them. Right, if we bring that across to there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new viewing platform, ready for you to gain an elevated view of our wonderful dinosaurs.
Alright, so what's obstructing it? Just terrain, so I need to bring the terrain up this side. I need to raise this a little bit. But we can do that. There we go, so that one. I wonder if we can slope that terrain down. No. No, I think I'll just put the path on for the time being. Let's not fix something that's not actually broken at the moment. Stop jumping on there. Come on. Right, there we go. So that attraction is now open for the Rexes. So we better get some Rexes in there. Spire airlift.
En route to pick up the asset. Asset collection request received.
Here we go, the #1 attraction of the park. There we go, #1. So if these parks really existed in real life, that'd be the first thing I would go to see. So I don't want it too close to the entrance. I want it sort of in the park a bit, so you go and you see other things first. And then as you're going through, you get to the more unique stuff. So we've got our marine, follows the herbivores. I mean, you're going to see something fantastic with like your brachiosaurs and your seismosaurs. Dreadnoughtus rather. Or at least you would if I knew where they were. Oh, there he is. There we go. So the Brachiosaurus are
Collected.
interacting there. So it's looking for food. There's plenty of food there. There's Corey down there. Rex is on the way. Don't drop him in there, whatever you do. Let's see how our Megs are doing. Look at that. Amazing animal. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. What's it saying they're not attached? Oh, I haven't done the paths up. There we go, there's our first Rex. See how he's doing. Plenty of area for him. It's more arid than they need. There'll be enough cover with that amount of trees. It's definitely going to be enough pasture for him. So was that the male? Yeah, that's the male.
Asset delivery confirmed.
During most of your tour, the appropriate information will be automatically selected and displayed for you. Simply touch the area of the screen displaying the appropriate icon.
Can't see the other one. Where's the other one gone? There they go, off into the trees. So they should be happy. See, that's sort of working out the way I wanted, where you can't always see them. Because they could well be hidden up in the trees. And one of them is. And I have no idea where. There she is. Nice T-Rex paddock. Excellent. I didn't realise that was feathered. Well, I think they like each other. Right, arid. We got more arid than we need. So let's see if we can do a bit more pasture over here to make them a little bit happier. I hate that when it gets rid of my trees. Wish it would just do the ground. So hopefully You might be off hunting. But the tree cover looks good. Right, I wonder if she's going to hunt the goat. Missing water. How can you be missing water? You're walking through it. And there's loads of water just up there. So everything else is alright except for water. So I just need to try and... I could expand that little pool a bit, couldn't I? Right, so let's see if we can bring that water down this way a little bit. I don't want it big. Or actually, I suppose I could put a bit more water up over here, couldn't I? Let's see if that's enough just to make them happy. There we go. Perfect. So that's the major attraction sorted. Just want to make sure that they're not hungry, because there should be plenty of food around there. So yeah, there's plenty of prey. Right, so there we have it. The T-Rex enclosure. I like that. I like the way it's done. What I might need to do is just put some more trees across the back here just to hide this back area. Let's do that actually with the scenery. There we go, that hides that a little bit better. I think I need a couple more in there. There we go, so if you came along to that, it would be completely covered. Let's see if we can do the same with this little area here to avoid that one from... That's too small. I thought that would be floating. Don't want no floaty tree shit going on in this environment, I tell you. Whoops. Foliage. There we go, so that should cover that area there. Perfect. So what I do need is an entrance for the park keepers, which I sort of forgot about. But hopefully this should work. So I want I like the classic gates. So if I bring that down over there, now do I need to put a gate onto this? I better put one there just in case. And let's path it out with a... No, I don't want that. I need something a little bit... There we go. Oh, that's so annoying. Look, it colour... Oh, I'll tell you what we can do. We can just colour it, can't we? Rather than doing that. There we go. So then if we make that a bit smaller, we can just sort of bring that in as a pathway leading in. So there is a way in. That's good. Nice. Right, so let's have a look. We're happy with that. So we've now got a Tyrannosaur paddock, a Spinosaur paddock, a large fish pond, Compies and Coelophysis paddock, and a large herbivore paddock. So we're doing good. So let's have a look. Let's have a look in here and see what else we want to deal with. Well, we really need raptors, don't we? Definitely need velociraptors. Pyroraptors. There they are. The good old velocos. Utyrannus. Utah raptors. They're nice. Pyroraptors. Morus intrepidus. No, I think they're tiny, so. Oviraptors. I wouldn't mind doing something with oviraptors, to be honest. Metriacanthosaurus. Yeah, I'd like one of those. I think we'd have to do Giganotosaurus, but not just now. I don't want it too close to the Rexes. Deinonychus. Carnotaurus I definitely want. Allosaurus I want as well. I could have Albertosaurus, but we've already got a Tyrannosaur, so I'm not too sure about that one. Troceraptors could be good, but I think we really want to focus on Velociraptor and possibly Utahraptor or Pyroraptor. So many to choose from, isn't there? But let's have a look in the herbivores. Let's see if there's any other herbivores that we could make. Now we haven't got any stegos. We haven't got any ankylos. We haven't got iguanodons. Definitely want to herd of iguanodons. And Myosaura. Mutaburosaurus. Alora Titan. Pachycephalosaurs. We'll need some of those. I think the next one needs to be the Therazinos. So let's have a look what Therazinos like. So they want a little bit of cover, a little bit of water. Ground leaf 75%. So, okay, not too much required for them. So I don't think we're going to need to make a huge area. So let's see. Let's see what we're going to do for them. Now I think we need to start bringing stuff out here as well. So, shall we start building something in this area here for Therazino? So I'm going to need to figure out what sort of area I want to cover for Therazino. I don't want snow. Beach. Yeah, let's use beach. We can use this just to mark out this sort of area that we want for them. So if I bring that up around there, that would be quite a decent area for them, wouldn't it? Maybe just a little bit more. So if we bring it around the path, we'll work around the path that we got there. Right, so I don't think we're going to raise the terrain or lower it in any way. We'll do the same as we did here. We'll make it uneven. Now, I kind of like the way this one's already gone. I haven't done it too uneven. It has got a little bit, but because it's swampland, then the water is going to drop down to the lowest level. So it should be flatter, really. Otherwise, we wouldn't have so many big pools of water because they'd all be draining off into one somewhere. So this I quite like. So I think for Therazino, let's just go back in and have another little look a minute. Therazino, where are you? There he is. I like the noise they make. Excellent noise. I think I want to have them on their own. I don't want anything else with them. So we only need to worry too much about ground leaf. So we haven't bred any yet, so I can't see what the young ones are like. Right, so what we want is ground leaf. So, shall we... We could drop it down a little bit, couldn't we? So let's have a look at the ground terrain. And we'll drop it down just a little bit. About there should be okay, I think. Dropping it down so it gives you a better view. Because Therazinos are quite big. So the higher up you are, the better view of them you will actually get in the long run. Now I don't really want to make these paddocks too uniform. That's why I'm not worried too much about the edges. Give them a bit more of a natural feel, as well as making the ground bumpy. But it also gives it that look as though it's been done as an extra precaution to stop any escapes as well. Because in effect, with this, with the bigger ones, you wouldn't even really need to have fencing around. If you just drop the terrain so it's too deep for the dinosaurs to climb over, then you've got them contained. And that way as well, if you've got escapes set on, they can't escape. This one won't do that. This one's going to be very deep. Very shallow, rather. Completely wrong word there. Shopping coverage is low. I ain't worried about that. So because when I was playing Evolution 2, I don't know whether they actually had Tyrannosaurus in that on a DLC, because by the time they were releasing all the DLCs for the later movies and Camp Cretaceous, I wasn't really playing anymore. I'd already played through it and moved on to other things. But we're gonna see how this one fares. Tyrannosaurus has always captured my interest over the years anyway, because of those claws and the fact that they, you know, for years they didn't really know much about the animal itself, what kind of animal it was, but and especially what the point was of those massive claws, not just for knocking deer 100 feet across. Right, there we go. So that's dropped down nicely. So I will be changing the terrain to what the Tyrannosaurus like. I'm just using this at the moment so I can actually see what I'm doing. Right, now what sort of fencing would I need for a Ferrazino? I'm just going to have another little look at them. I think actually I might get them working. Let's see what they actually look like. That's what it looked like in Dominion. So let's have a look at the male. Let's I'm going to make the male quite brightly coloured. That one's quite good. I like that. But I also like that as well. I think I'm going to go with that. Let's go with that. That's good. So let's begin the task on there. So we only get one egg at a time. So if I do another one in there. So we got 2 going. So I'll get 2. I'll get 2 animals. That'd be good.
Synthesis procedure complete. Incubation personnel, please stand by.
Here we go. So we'll do that one as a female. And then that one as a male. Right, so they're going to be ready when the paddock's ready. So let's so I can't remember now. Was it pasture they needed?
Synthesis procedure complete.
Can't remember if it's pasture now. Right, let's have a look. So right, so they need ground leaf. Little bit of colour, little bit of water, and ground leaf. Mostly ground leaf. So if I cover the whole bottom in ground leaf, they should be happy. So let's colour it first. Let's go for a different colour for the floor. We'll have something a little bit different. Just try and match it in the best I can there. Well, our park is already showing as a 4-star park, which is pretty good. There we go. Right, so let's go with some water. So they don't need deep water. They only need a little bit. So if we put, let's have a little semicircle of water like that. And then tree coverage. If we have something like that, that should be enough for them. So they want ground leaf. There we go. So if we chuck loads and loads of ground leaf down here, they won't be able to complain. Alright, so now I need to change the terrain a little bit so it's not all uniform. So the way I'm doing this, just to roughen the land up a little bit, is just basically quickly double click the mouse as you're just moving the pointer across, and it gives you those little bumps, and then you can just flick around them and it sort of brings them all up together. So then if you want to smooth them afterwards, you can just go to the smooth terrain and just give that a little flick like so. Remember to turn the intensity down if you don't want to do too much. Every time. So, there you go. Let's give that a little bit more intensity around this area. There we go. So I'm quite liking the look of that. So let's fence it off, and then we can get the animals in there and see what they think. I love the look of those Dreadnoughtus. Looks excellent. Right, so let's get some fencing underway. So I wonder what they're going to need. Medium? think I'll try medium with these ones. Because I don't think they'd be too dangerous. I may be wrong. It might be very dangerous, but for the time being, let's not worry too much about it, because we can always change it as we go through. That is the joys of this game. Especially when you're just doing the sandbox mode. Let's curve that one round, I think. Right, there we go. That looks okay. Do I want to sort out a couple of these bumps, I think. That's a little bit too intense for what I want to do. There, so that looks good. So let's release the Ferrozinos into there and see what they think. I can only do one at a time. That's annoying. Right, so the path can see both, which is good. So, do I want to put in a viewing gallery here, which you won't be able to see much because of the trees, or a viewing gallery here, which I don't know whether one will go in because of what I've got already around it. Right, let's go here for one, because that's got quite a good view, and I'm wondering then if we can put another one over here, viewing that area.
Tyrannosaurus may be an herbivore, but you could have fooled me looking at those claws. Either way, this dinosaur's unique physiology gives it a real presence, and presence always draws in a crowd. Glad to have this one on site.
I think I might have overdone the size of this, but I wonder, I might be able to actually put some other animals in with it. What do you mean missing ground leaf? There's loads. Yeah, that's it. Go and explore it. You'll see there's loads. He's exploring. He'll find more. He or... No, she will find more. Right, let's release the other one. There we go. So that's going to be the 2 of those. So that's quite quick, doing these terrains. They don't look that exciting, I know. But this one being quite a low down one, I didn't want to block it off with boulders and stuff like that. Because I sort of got the impression with the Tyrannosaurus that it was going to be more of a forest-loving animal. But according to this, it's not. It only wants a little bit of cover. So we'll just give it the little bit of cover that it wants, and I'll let it see how it wants to go on.
Assets in the air.
He wants to sleep. There we go. So everything on there looks okay. Just a little bit short on ground leaf. So if I put a little bit more ground leaf this side, like so, then that should be enough for him. You're not the one that I need. I need the other one. Right, there's the other one. Still showing missing ground leaf. I just added more. Hey. Got more cover than they actually need. The coloration on that one is quite good. I do like that. That looks really cool. I like that. Right, let's put a bit more ground leaf on this side. Right, that should be the right amount for him now. 73%. 77. Getting closer. We'll let them get on with that for a little while. Right, so if we just match that path up there. It's that one, I believe. And that one, then people can see into that one.
Added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
There we go.
We have added a new viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our magnificent animals.
Right, I think I definitely need something else in there. But I'm going to have to look and see what else likes ground leaf. So let's have a look in there. Ground leaf. What would like ground leaf? Let's have a look. Drysaurs might like ground leaf. Yeah, they like ground leaf. But they like pasture as well. What about iguanodons? What do they like? Pasture. They like the wetlands, and that's they won't really work. What about just a stego? No, not stegoceratops. There we go, stegos. Let's see what they like. Cover 14, water 10, ground fiber 41. But they like a little bit of ground fruit as well. So might be able to work them in. So let's have a look. I'm going to put a pair of those in if I can. Let's have them a nice green for the female. And the male, let's give him a more... That's good. I like that. So let's begin the task on those so we can get 3 eggs. So I can do 1 male and 2 females. That would do.
Synthesis procedure
So 1 male, 2 females. Let's begin on that. So I will need to put a bit of ground fruit in here, which is going to upset the Therizzinos. Ground fruit, ground fiber. That might work. Right, so let's see if we can release them. And see how they all get on.
Collect an asset. Asset for planned collection.
Right, so Stegosaurus and Therizinosaurus in there. We've done all that. We've got a lot of area we can cover yet. So I'm quite happy with the way this is going. Let's have a check in on our animals. So let's see if the Spinos are okay. Spinos look happy. I'm sure they got enough enough food because they feed on the fish feeders, which are... There we go. Let's see Mr. Rexy and Mrs. Rexy. They seem very happy. I wanted to see one feed so I could get that on a thumbnail. Because that would look good then.
Stegosaurus might seem calm and docile, but there's no sense letting your guard down. If it's uncomfortable or provoked, it could do a lot of damage to our fences. Trust me on that.
There he is. Let's see how he's liking it. Probably absolutely hating it. Well, so far he's saying that he hasn't got anything that he likes. Right, there's enough water.
We are pleased to welcome a Stegosaurus to the park.
Transportation complete.
Cover's enough, water's enough.
Asset transportation.
They haven't found all the ground fibre around yet. Here comes the next one. There goes a Therizzino. Let's get the... Let's drop them down there so you can have a look round to see the Therizzino. There it is. And here comes the other one. There, I like that. That's quite a nice little paddock. It's dropped down just slightly for them. So they don't think there's enough ground fruit and ground fibre. There is an absolute shed of both of them there. They're not going to starve. They're going to be happy. Still forming their territory yet anyway. Right, so what are we going to do next? Do I want to put anything else in there with them? Let's have a look and see what else. And Tyrannosaurus, can we put a couple of those in there? Let's see what they like. They like ground leaf and ground fruit. Water 10%, wetland 19. They need a bit of wetland. Now I'm just wondering whether they could live in with Spinos. Or maybe I'm going a little bit too over the top. I suppose the other thing we could do is avian. So what do the avians come under? Oh no, I can't build those in there, can I? They've got to be in an avian environment. Okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to build an aviary over here next to the Rex paddock. So we're going to... It's going to have to be a decent size. So I don't want a tiny little one. Because I might well go for the big ones. The Quetzals. Now, is that going to be... That is quite an area. But is it going to be big? I may need to expand it for Quetz. Let's just add a couple more domes. To about there. That's going to be big, but I want to have a few species in there, to be quite honest. So let's put the breeder in that side there. There we go, aviary. Oh, it actually takes up only a little bit of space. So I wonder if I can actually put it on this side. So I can put it up there. And then join it with this path. That's a bit annoying. I wonder if I can smoothen that one down to get it to drop. There we go. So that's now in there. So we're going to need... Actually, let's have a look, because I don't really know what we're going to need for these. So let's get the old Quetzos on the go. Let's see what they need. Arid, barren, wetland, water. Okay, right, so we go in there and put down some arid. It's a shame we can't temporarily get rid of the dome to actually see what we're doing underneath. Right, so we want some barren. Running into some arid. So I'm just going to cover this on the whole bottom for a minute, because we can change bits and pieces afterwards. But I need rocks and everything in here for them to land on. So I need some water. So we don't need deep water. So if we do have like a river going through like so. So there we go. So if we because most of these will be fish eaters, we're going to need a piscivore area like that, so a couple of them should do. Right, so let's start working on making this look a little bit more interesting. So I'm going to raise the terrain over this side a little bit. Just ended up getting rid of a load of the water there, so I might have to put that back afterwards. I'm gonna try experimenting with something in a minute. I'm gonna see if I can hide the back of that with large boulders, so it looks like it actually just got built onto the edge of a cliff rather than just stuck out in the middle of nowhere. These guests don't have to complain a lot. Right, there we go. So that's roughened that ground up a little bit. I think we're still okay with the river. That's not too bad. Let's alter that just a little bit. Right, so what I am going to do then is I'm going to have some nice big rocks over here. For the animals to like land on. Let's see if I can drop those down a little bit, because I don't want them to hide what's up behind. I like the way these rocks actually merge in together, and they do look natural when you look at them. It's really well done, I think. Right, so the plan's going to be to put these big ones in the back. Like so. Which will then hopefully give it the impression of being built into the side of a cliff. So let's have a look at what that looks like. Those ones look a little bit samey, so let's just see if we can alter those a little bit to make them look a bit different. So that does look a lot better than just having that, because that looks very barren as it is, but that just gives it the impression. Let's just gives it the impression that it's actually a natural formation rather than something that's been built for a park. There we go. So we better put a little bit of plant life in there. Let's think. Let's use something like this, but I don't want them. Don't want to obscure in the view, if you see what I mean. Right, I think what I'll do is I'll put a viewing platform here and a viewing platform there. Again, where's the Avery viewing gallery? There. And we'll put one there as well. See what the view looks like. That is a good view, but that's it does look very sparse and boring at the moment. So, but the back's looking good, so I'm going to take that all the way across. So we can make that look a little bit more natural. That is one massive rock. I think that's a bit too big, that one, isn't it? Let's see. Let's go. Oh, let's try that one. That looks okay. So we can bring him round like that. Right, shouldn't take too much more to actually get this one looking right. That rock is seriously messing my head up. Come back here. Just thought that'd be a nice rock to have on the floor. Right, let's get some more big rocks in here. There we go. So that doesn't look too bad now. So if we go and view from one of the viewing windows. There we go. Sparse in front, but looking good at the back. So let's see what we can add in down here. Let's have a look. There's a lot of foliage down here. But the problem is, take ages to do anything with these. So these things are way too small to be doing this with. Right, so I suppose we could cheat a little bit. And we could use this one to just cover a little bit of area to make it look a little bit alive. But we definitely need more decoration in here. Let's get more rocks on the go. Mainly for them to land on. Right, so that should be plenty of places for them to perch on. So let's create a couple of quetzals and let's see how they go. So the female is alright, and the male, we give him a sort of more red colour. So how many? So we only get one per thing on those. One ready. Two, right, so we got one female and one male. So let's connect up these paths. I think I'll do a path straight across from there.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new aviary viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our amazing avian reptiles.
Come on, move away from there. Let's see if I can curve it around that bend. Like so. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have added a new aviary viewing gallery, ready for you to observe our amazing avian
Right, let's see what
reptiles.
this looks like.
The largest flying animal we humans have ever discovered. The Quetzalcoatlus. Named after the Aztec god Quetzalcoatl, of course. Simply magnificent. These massive winged reptiles once dominated the skies. Now, we can see them doing the same again.
Right, let's see. So, just missing a bit of wetland. That's no problem. So, if I put in a little bit of wetland here, he should be all right. Right, so there is still quite a lot of barren there. Why is he not seeing barren? Or have I just not got the right one for it? So let's have a look. Boulder waste. Didn't realise I could do this with boulders. That's good. Right, let's have a look and see if he likes that. Still not enough wetland for him though. Right, so let's go up behind here and put some wetland down here for him. Let's see if he's happy enough with that. Oh, he's feeding. Right, I'm still going to have to let him fly around a bit till he finds that wetland. So let's release the female. I thought I'd already done that. Right, so let's have a look down in the viewing gallery. There he is over in the distance. That's good. Looks good. Should I put some more rocks just down in front? Or would that hide the view? I could just put a little bit of a rock view in front, couldn't I? Right, let's just try and make this look a little bit less uniform. Just bring it up a little bit. That's not looking too bad now. Probably add some more stuff onto this later on. So let's release the second one.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to welcome a Quetzalcoatlus to the park.
Well, they look well happy. Right, so I think we should have some pteranodons in here. Tropognathus, rather. I want some of those as well, but let's put pteranodons in first. They got nothing from the films. So I want to give them a sort of that I don't mind. That one looks alright. If we make the males sort of red. With a bit of green pattern in. And let's see if we can put the green patterning into them as well. So let's begin the task. So we can get 3 eggs. So that's good. We'll do the usual thing. We'll do the 1 male, 2 females. So there we go. 1 male, 2 females. Looking rather content. So yeah, I'm glad we made this aviary this sort of size, to be honest. But our only problem is, in all fairness, those boulders there block the view. So I need to get rid of those. So let's I think that was barren. But it was barren with rocks. think that'd be better. Let's have a look. Yeah, you can actually see along there now. Right, so let's release the pteranodons.
Strictly speaking, the pteranodon isn't actually a dinosaur, but a prehistoric reptile. A flying reptile at that. Imagine the spectacle of these animals soaring through the skies. Well, I guess we don't need to imagine it since we've added them to our collection.
Right, food's okay for them. So the only thing they're missing is pasture, but I can't keep changing every aspect of it. So they look good. Right, so what else do we need in the aviary? Let's have a look. So I think I might put some Tropognathus in there. Have a couple of the large ones flying around. It's a shame they haven't got Ornithochirus, to be honest. Be good to see them in there. They are similar to this anyway, so. It's quite nice with the blue. Let's pattern it with the red. Does make a lot of difference, but that is definitely good. I'm not going to change that. That I like. So let's begin that task. How many are we going to... So we're going to get 2 eggs out of that, so we just do a male and a female. That will be fine.
Synthesis procedure.
One of each. What's their traits? Vulnerable. Okay. That's a good view, isn't it? That one not quite so good. There we go.
With the help of world-class avian experts, we constructed this terrific enclosure to safely and securely house.
So,
Personnel, please stand by.
here come the Tropognathus. Let's see how they look. I like it.
Quite the impressive pterosaur. The Tropognathus is most distinguished by its keel-tipped snout, which is easy to spot even from a distance. I'm sure our guests will love learning about and observing it.
So Tropognathus don't really like a lot of water. Okay, so what else can we release in there? Let's have a look. Let's go for something small. Dimorphodon. Kyojara. Tapijara. Gostenbergia. Not really heard of that one, but looks alright. But I want the small ones. I like Dimorphodons. I think I'm gonna put some Dimorphodons in there. Let's go green on the females. And let's go red on the males. So we get 6 of those. So I'll do 4 females and 2 males.
Synthesis.
There we go. I assume these are going to be fish eaters as well. Yeah. Now these are only going to be small. Right, let's release them. They were quick. So yeah, these will be quite small.
As dangerous in the air as it is on land, the Dimorphodon isn't too fussy about what's in its diet either. If that isn't incentive enough to treat this flying reptile with respect, I don't know what is.
I've always liked the Dimorphodon. I don't quite know why. I think it's just because it's got I think it's because the head always reminds me of a Rex. It's just got that look about it. Right, so I think we do need something else in there because it's quite a big area and I want it to be actually flush with dinosaurs. So let's see what else we can do. I would actually like Tapijara because they look good. I would like Gustenbergia as well because of the crest on the head. But let's do some Tapijara. Right, that looks good enough for the female, I think. And the male, let's make him really brightly patterned. I wish that yellow was a lot brighter, to be honest. So what about if I do his body in yellow? No, it doesn't really work, does it? Wanted something quite bright in that, but okay, I think we'll go for that then. And let's see how many we're going to get. We're going to get 4 of those. So again, 2 and 2.
Personnel, please stand by.
These ain't going to take long at all.
Incubation complete. Prepare asset for release.
Yeah, it don't look bad.
Ooh, the Tapijara! It's fun to say. It's even more fun to look at. The aerial color, that impressive sail behind its head. Yeah, this'll make even the most stone-hearted guest open up their wallet.
So right now you should have a good view of quite a lot of animals when you look in here.
Not all prehistoric life was confined to the land, nor was it restricted to the seas. Millions of years ago, winged reptiles.
That does look alright. I quite like that. So I didn't think that was going to be that interesting to build, but building the rocks up the back, giving it that cliff face look, and then leaving this largely flat but just rocking it out and bumping it a little bit gives you a good deal, well, a really good view of the whole area. So you can see them when they're flying, and hopefully you can also see a lot of them when they're actually standing on the ground.
Base of the jaws and end in a sharp point. This gives these pterosaurs the ability to masterfully scoop with their beaks to capture fish.
First time I've seen someone stood in there with me. Right, that's good, because we got big and we got small. So something for everyone. I thought that Quetzal then was about to attack that Dimorphodon, but I haven't got the settings set for that. I don't really want that to happen. I want everything to be nice and friendly.
As we reach our phenomenal aviary, we would like to take a moment to thank you for...
Yeah, it's a shame you can't actually make them a lot higher. But I'm happy enough with that. So let's check in on the Rexes. They look happy enough. What else do we have? Therazinos. There's one of them. They still look happy. Let's check on the Stegos, see if they're happy. Gotta find them first, I suppose. I'm a little bit concerned that I can't see them. Oh, there we go. There's one of them down here. Oh, I see. They're just chilling out. So that's all right. I should be able to see them from the not that one. What is it? Site map. There we go. So there we go. We've got a good amount of animals for everyone to see. So what I need to do is I need to start filling these areas up here with amenities and stuff like that as well. So we've already got a really impressive amount of dinosaurs on this side of the island. So now I need another set down this side. But I'm sort of thinking about doing it as a walk around. So you come in through the park this side, and you have to go past these first. Then you can take this path down, view the Stegos, the Therazinos, and the Coelophyses, past the lagoon, past the Spinos, past the Rexes, onto the aviary. Now I'm wondering about doing another lagoon somewhere, but moving like the Megalodons out, putting the Megalodons into a place of their own. Which I think would be better. But I don't want it too close to that one. I want a couple of different areas. Let's just have a look in here a minute. I just want to see what else we can do that we haven't done. So we could make a place for the Megalodons on their own. Maybe a place for Dunkleosteus on their own. We haven't got Atomburosaurus. We haven't got Kronosaurus. So, and we haven't got Plesiosaurus. So I wonder if we can do another one actually. And we'll take the Plesiosaurus, the Atomburosaurus, and the Ichthyosaurus and put those into a separate one because they're not what do you call them? Super predators. That's the word I was looking for. I was going to say alpha predators, but that's not the right word. So, that is a plan for some point, but not just now. So, what are we going to do next? So, we're not going to do it on this video, but I think we need some raptors. And this could be a prime area for a raptor enclosure. Yeah, so I think that's what the next one's going to be. I think what I want let's just go and have a look a minute. Meat eaters. So I want Carnotaurus. So I'm going to have to make an enclosure for those. I think I want Deinonychus. I want Pyroraptor. And I want Velociraptor. Troodon, I could have some of those as well, really. But they're the main ones I want. I would like Utah Raptors as well. So I'm wondering about making an enclosure that splits into 4 parts. So I could have 4 different raptors. So I can make it quite a big enclosure. Make it like a big square. And then just cut it into cubes. I think that might work. But I'll have to have a think on that one when I'm offline, I believe. So yeah, we'll definitely put something in there, because this is a huge area. Look, we could quite easily let's just get to the environment thing a minute, so I can just, let's use beach. So size wise, if we go along like that, down like into this sort of size, because raptors are a lot smaller than the others, so we could cube it like that and have 4 different enclosures. So we'll enclose the whole thing and then just have fences cutting them in between there. We might need to make it a little bit bigger, to be honest. I wish you could zoom back a bit more. No, I think that might be big enough. Just try and square that off a little bit, make it look right. Yeah, I think that'd be big enough. So we could have the 4 raptors there. Let's think. We could have Deinonychus in there. Velociraptors in there. Utah Raptors in there. And Pyro in there. That would work, wouldn't it? So I think that's what we do. That'll be the next project when we come back, because I think we could make this into a good sort of large raptor exhibit, so that we can path it up around, have the paths going all the way around, because we haven't even got any rides or anything on these things yet, but they will come in time. Obviously not through this area, because you know, that'd just be the movable buffet that Roland talked about. Yeah, so we could split it. We could have viewing galleries 1, 2, 3, 4. Fences down that we could then hide with foliage. Then I've just got to hope that that's going to be enough area. That will be, yeah. I mean, if you take it in Jurassic Park, the raptors were kept in that one little tiny enclosure. Not in the book, but in the film they were. So we'll go along with that. So that's what we're going to do. That's our plan. So if you want to join me for that one, remember to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and all that jazz. And I will see you on the flip side. I'll catch you all later.